Hey guys, what's going on? This is Brussels. A little after 5 p.m. It's chilly, but not super cold. It's like 45 Fahrenheit, something like that. So it is going to be getting dark soon. I will explain what's going on. How did I end up in Brussels? Just arrived this morning, coming from Cancun. Spent 11 days there. Visited my friend Francesca. Went to the beach, of course, cenotes, underground lakes of the Yucatan Peninsula, Mayan ruins. Ate lots of Mexican food. Had a nice time, and then I was ready for something different and to show you guys some different places. I'm not sure how long I'm going to actually stay in Belgium. I'll explain more in just a second, but I had a direct flight from Cancun to Brussels. That is one of the reasons that I ended up coming here, really kind of the main reason, although I'm happy to come back as well and see it again. I was last here in 2018, but found this super cheap flight for $293, including tax. I wasn't charged for luggage. 10-hour direct flight, Cancun to Brussels, overnight. Arrived at around 8 in the morning this morning. I didn't have a hotel booked because I wanted to wait and make sure that I would actually be allowed into the country because it wasn't completely clear. But everything actually went smoother than I expected because I got a COVID test in Playa del Carmen, Mexico there, before flying out because I assumed that that would be necessary even though I am vaccinated. But nobody ever asked me for the COVID test. They just asked for my proof of vaccination at check-in in Playa del Carmen, and then at customs in Brussels here this morning. Then they didn't ask for vaccination, a test, or anything. And so it was actually pretty easy to come here. And so I'm now in the Schengen zone of Europe, as I have talked about in previous videos, in which case it should be easier to travel between various other countries of Europe from here. And I seriously have no idea where I'm going next. Well, I do have an idea where I'm going next at this exact moment, which is the Grand Place of Brussels, the main old square. You can see, you know, the sort of central square right here, but the Grand Place is a little more picturesque and kind of the center of the city. So let's figure out. It is a just 4-minute walk. I think it's up here and to the right. I'm already lost relative to my hotel. Okay, this is saying I think go to the right here. So I figured walking over to the Grand Place would also be a good opportunity to show more of the city. All right, it's actually looking like I'm supposed to go maybe that way, but there's this big building here and then a huge, looks like a church up ahead. Actually, no, this is the right way it looks like. And so I have done no research yet, and I'm not sure if I'm even going to stay another day in Brussels. I'll explain why in a second. So I arrived, as I mentioned, at 8 in the morning, and overnight flight, so I was just totally tired out. And I got through customs and everything, then went to book a place to stay, also because I had arrived early in the morning and I wanted to be able to check into somewhere right away and not have to wait until 12 or 1 or 2 or 3 in the afternoon when I'm all tired out and want to get some sleep. And so that was the other reason why I decided to not book a hotel. Little something to think about there, especially these days when it's so easy to book online. And so while I was sitting on the bus going from the Brussels airport into the city, all right, we got a church here. And as I said, I have done no research, so this is not going to be an informative tour. I just wanted to get out here and show you some of the city before it got dark, in part because I might take off tomorrow. And so while I was sitting on the bus coming into the city, then I looked on booking.com for possible places to stay. And then, rather than booking through them, and it turned out to be a good thing I did this for a different reason, I found that place there, Hotel St. Nicholas, and then I called them instead of booking it on booking.com. There are a few different reasons to do that, one of which is that sometimes you can get a better deal by calling and booking direct. I don't usually do that, just for me it is worth paying a little extra for the convenience of being able to book online. That is kind of the point, is you just do it. You don't have to make a phone call in a foreign country. But in this case, then I wanted to call them directly and make sure that I would actually be able to check in right away, at 8 in the morning, that they had a room cleaned and ready to go. And incidentally, as it turned out, as far as the price, it was actually cheaper on booking.com. I would have saved like $3 a day if I'd booked it on booking.com. So that is the other thing when it comes to calling the hotel directly, is you won't necessarily get the better deal. You might actually get a better deal, especially if you have a genius status as I have, because I book so much on booking.com. I get 10, 15, 20% off of the hotels through booking.com. So anyways, I called them, and yes, they had a room available, and so I arrived there, checked in. I had asked for 2 nights, and so this is the Grand Place. And as you can see, it is really something else. Like, these buildings are just magnificent. I made a video tour here in Brussels the last time that I was here in 2018, so about 3.5 years ago. August, I think, of 2018, when I was just starting another trip. And so I arrive at the check-in desk for that hotel there and go to pay for 2 nights, and then the lady says, "Oh, whoops, I made a mistake. We are closed tomorrow." So they can only book me for 1 night. They're only open like Thursday through Sunday because they don't have much business, something like that. So that's a new one. Like I've like literally never come across a hotel that I can think of that's you know, is only open a few days a week. I mean, I'm sure, you know, that does happen sometimes, but especially in a major city like Brussels, that was an odd one. So she was only able to book me in for tonight. And then I have to check out tomorrow. And so therefore, then I'm not sure what I'm doing tomorrow, if I'm going to book another hotel for another night and stay another day in Brussels, or considering that I've been here before and already made a tour, so I can put the link down below to my other tour, and then it's going to be Sunday tomorrow, in which case I'm not sure if it's going to be kind of quieter and less interesting to film, or not, because this morning it was like a ghost city at like 8:30 in the morning, but that is partly because it was a Saturday. Look at these massive old doors. Like, that thing is solid. So this morning, then I took a bus from the airport into the city center, but it didn't drop me off like right near here. It was about a mile away. And so I walked through the city, and it was a very eerie experience of just almost nobody around. I walked past this guy standing at a bus stop, and the guy just like says hey to me, and I'm like a little suspicious, but I just stopped and said yeah. And he was like, what's going on with the city? Like, where is everybody? It feels like, you know, some post-apocalyptic movie or something. And I was like, yeah, really, it's weird. But I think it was just a combination of Saturday morning, winter, COVID, you know. That guy was from Israel, and he was actually apparently on the same flight as me, because he said he was coming from Cancun as well. All right, so where should I go? I think I will, oh yeah, I should find Mannequin Piss. So let's walk back into the Grand Place there. So the plan is just to basically just keep the camera rolling and try to film as much of the city as I can before it gets dark. All right, so I think that the Mannequin Piss statue is actually back that way where I was, but I want to show a little bit over here first, and then I will wrap around. It is a famous statue. And so it's nice to see that it's lively now this evening, because I thought maybe it was going to be super dead just because it was Saturday based on this morning. So nice to see that Europe is not, you know, completely shut down, depending, of course, on where you are. It will depend on the country. I believe that in the Netherlands, then, restaurants are closed for dinner, and you can only order takeout. That's the last that I heard anyways. All right, we got some music going on. So Restaurants are open in Belgium. That is good news. Gustav Klimt. The immersive experience. That sounds really cool. Now I would be happy to give these guys some money. I try to give most street musicians that I film some money, but I have no money. This is a pretty interesting fountain. I've walked past it before, but I don't think that I ever stopped and looked at these carvings. Like here's it's like a star symbol. That is an odd symbol. It's like a disjointed star, and then that looks like the columns of an old building. Man, so this is kind of a mysterious fountain. Firenze, Florence, Italy. I was thinking like those columns look like, you know, ancient Greece or Italy. Wow, this is a really cool and unique carving. So let's see. Charles Carroll, 1881 to 1899. Birdmeister of Brussels. Huh. So I have no money, as in I have no euros at all. I just used my credit card to pay for the bus ticket this morning and then to pay for the hotel, because I couldn't find an ATM machine in the airport. I was walking all over the place. I'm sure there's one somewhere, but I looked all over in the like arrivals hall. And then finally I just wanted to get out of there and get to my hotel, so I gave up on the ATM. So that will be one of my missions for this evening, is get some cash, get some euros. So that kind of leads into like, where am I going on this trip? And I really don't know. I've been thinking about various possible places, of course, while I'm in this part of the world. For one thing, I am enjoying the winter experience now. It is like just so invigorating, refreshing, especially because it's not like crazy cold. I think it must be below 45 Fahrenheit now. Let's check the phone, see the current temps, but oh, no, it's still at 45, so yeah, not all that cold. Okay, let's go find Mannequin Piss. And so as far as where I will be traveling this winter while I'm out here, okay, we got a nice selection of, oh yeah, this is like beer and, oh, there we go. One of my favorites, Westmalle Triple, 9.5% alcohol. So the first time that I had Westmalle was in the Netherlands. What's the name of that city? I can't remember, but I'll put it on the screen here. I was there in I think that was 2016, exploring around for the day, and then I just stopped at this bar and ordered a beer. The first one was like a white beer of some sort that was okay, but I wasn't that let's head back into the Old Town action. It was alright, but I wasn't that excited about it. And then I ordered the West Mall just completely randomly, just giving it a try, and really liked it. And so once I leave Brussels, either tomorrow or the next day, where am I going? I do not know. I really genuinely do not know yet. Maybe into the Netherlands. Maybe to Luxembourg. Maybe see more of Belgium. Maybe to London. Maybe catch a flight to Norway or Kosovo or Tunisia or Georgia or Italy or Greece. Like literally any of those could happen in the next couple days. I probably won't go too far right away. Speaking of Greece, Athens, Greek restaurant. Oh wow, this is like the Greek section. Look at this. We got Mykonos. Plaka is a area of Athens. Not sure if Plaka might refer to something else as well. Hellas is the Greek name for Greece. That's funny. A Greek neighborhood that lasts for like half a block. So something that I thought that I would talk about here, a question that people have been asking is, what do you need to do to travel right now with the COVID restrictions? Mexico is fully open, no vaccination required to enter, no test required to enter. But what about other places around the world as I travel? How do you deal with finding out what you need to do? First of all, what are the requirements? As I mentioned, coming into Belgium, I wasn't sure if I was going to need a test or not. So, mannequin piss. Here it is. All right, I'll talk about that subject in a minute. So it is a very, very small statue of a little boy peeing. So that is it. That is the mannequin piss statue, but it is kind of legendary and a symbol of sorts of Belgium. So mannequin piss. You can hear a church bell ringing. It is 6:01 p.m. Mannequin piss, Dutch for little pissing man, is a landmark 61 centimeters or 24 inches, so 2 feet tall, bronze fountain sculpture in central Brussels, Belgium, depicting a poor mingens, or naked little boy, urinating into the fountain's basin. It was designed by the Brabantine sculptor Jérôme Duquesnoy the Elder and put in place in 1618 or 1619. The current statue is a replica which dates from 1965. Okay, I didn't realize that. It's not the original statue. The original is kept in the Brussels City Museum. Okay. Mannequin piss is one of the best-known symbols of Brussels and Belgium. It is also an example of Belgitude, whatever that means, as well as of folk humor, popular in Brussels. Okay, let's walk around a bit more. I think this street up here is another walking street, trying to remember from the last time that I was here. This is actually the third time that I've been to Belgium, but the first time barely counted. That was when I was 18, summer of 1990. Talked about that trip plenty, but it was the very, very end of my trip. My backpack had just been stolen in Paris. I only had my little day pack left. Luckily, with my passport and flight ticket. Of course, this was the old days of pre-internet, so no e-tickets or whatever. And I had like literally only $50 left, I think, to the best of my recollection. Literally like $50 to my name in Europe with a missing backpack. So quite a precarious situation, but I caught a train. I had my Eurail pass still, and so I caught a train from Paris to whatever town in Belgium from which you would take the ferry over to England to catch my flight out of London. And so my first time in Belgium was just getting off the train, walking over to the ferry, ticket office or whatever, and booking a ticket and waiting for it, and then getting on the ferry and going. And so that first time through Belgium barely counts. All right, so the subject of how to travel during this time when things are so confusing as far as where you can go and what you need to do to go to the places that you think you can go. So the thing is that there's no like simple, easy answer I can give. That's kind of the problem. Is, as I mentioned, I wasn't even sure if I was going to be let into Belgium. I'd read various websites with various information, and then you can come across information that was current a month ago, but it's no longer relative now. And so to the best of my figuring it out, that I thought, yes, I think I will be allowed into Belgium, and so I went for it, and it worked out. And as it turned out, nobody asked me for my COVID test, so that was kind of a waste of $25, but no big deal, better to be prepared. And so as far as like getting the COVID tests and like where do you get COVID tests when you need to get them, then it just depends on where you are. There's no like go to this website and it will just tell you exactly where to go. I mean, maybe there is actually, but usually then either I just see a place that says COVID testing, and so I keep it in mind. There was a COVID testing clinic just around the corner from my hotel in Playa del Carmen, and so that's how I found out about that one, is just saw it. Or you can just look on Google Maps and search for COVID testing and find it that way, or ask at your hotel. There are various ways. These days there are a lot of them kind of all over. And so it was $25 for the COVID test in Mexico. That was for the rapid antigen test. The PCR test was, I think, $80. Yeah, $80. And so those are always more expensive, but it varies a lot. I got a free rapid PCR test, which I hadn't even known that there was such a thing as a rapid PCR test. I'd gotten rapid antigen tests, but at the New York JFK airport, free COVID testing, whether PCR, rapid PCR, or antigen. Also in Reykjavik, Iceland, before I flew back, then I got a free COVID antigen test there. And then you will oftentimes need to fill out a passenger locator form for a lot of the countries that you might go to, in which you fill in your passport, flight information, name, address, maybe where you're planning to go. Like the passenger locator form, when I flew to Belgium here, they asked basically like address inside Belgium, and you just put in a hotel. I just looked on booking.com and found an address for a hotel that I didn't even go to, and just entered that in. They never checked that. And so you might need to fill out that form, which can be done online, usually really easy to do. And then just read carefully, as best as you can, what you can find online as far as the requirements. As I talked about in previous videos, when I tried to go to Morocco back in August, then I got denied because I thought that I would be good with the vaccination proof. And then I went to check in at the airport, and because of the country that I was flying from, Spain, which was a higher risk country, then I also needed to have a COVID test, negative COVID test, in order to be able to enter as well. And so they would not allow me to board that flight. Also, because it had to be a PCR test, I couldn't get a rapid test right there at the airport because they wouldn't accept a rapid test. It had to be the PCR test, the long one, that takes at least like 24 hours or so to get the results. And so I was denied and couldn't catch that flight, and changed my plans. Later, when I went back to Morocco, then I didn't need the oh man, I've fallen into a construction zone. Unfortunately, this is not very interesting. I will wrap this up though and just say, later, when I did actually go to Morocco, then I didn't need a PCR test that time because I was coming from the US, which was considered to be less of a risk as far as COVID. And so, you know, it's just confusing is the point of the story here. So it's raining now, lightly, but I love that there are all of these like convenience stores you come across, and then they have this just massive selection of amazing beer. Lots of my favorites. So Duvel, that is a good one. Bush, haven't heard of that, but Blonde Triple, so that sounds really good. Saint Bernardus Abbot 12, Abbey Ale, so that's gonna be good if it's a Abbey Ale. Palm Royal, never heard of that. Jeanette, Mort Subite, Gueuze Lambic, only 4.5%, but I haven't heard of a lot of these beers. Trappist Rochefort, Cornet, Oaked. I would love to try so many of these. That's one reason to stick around Belgium. Golden Drac, Castile, Triple Carmelite. Trolls, Moinette Blonde, Saison Dupont, Barbar, Guinness Special Export, La Trappe, Trappist Blonde, again Bush, Peche Mel, Cherry, Chouffé. Lots of tasty looking beers there. And then here we got honey and various honey products, it looks like. Candles. Propolis. Like bee pollen, I guess. So definitely some interesting shops in Brussels. Another one. Leffe. A lot of the same ones, it looks like. Bush, Saison, Dupont, Omer, Lefort, Mort, Sabite, Hogarden, Rosé. So Hogarden is one that I discovered last summer and one of my favorites, but not that one. Citrus. I think the one that I had was just like a blonde. They have different varieties. Waterloo. Golden Drac, Madrid Seuss, Westmall Triple, Rodenbach. Back at the Grand Place. I figured it would be nice to show again, all lit up. It is lovely. Restaurants here with a nice view and also heaters. I'm sure they got good beer selection. And then I'm going to walk over to the little square again that I already showed with the fountain and where the street musicians were, and just see if there's another street musician there. And then also from there, then walk basically down the street over there, show a little bit more before I head back to my room and get this video edited. And then I will go out and find some dinner. The reason being, then this can be uploading while I'm eating dinner and I can get it posted today so that you guys have something to watch. Very fresh, filmed today, February 5th. And so that means that I won't be showing my dinner in this video, but I will be showing lots more food in upcoming videos for sure. So look at this. Something else Belgium is famous for, chocolate. Look at those chocolate bars, they're huge. 9.90 euros, so like 11 bucks for a huge hunk of what I'm sure is like the best chocolate you're gonna find. Look at that shop. So many tasty looking delectables and a chocolate machine. I guess it's like making the chocolate there, it looks like. Wild. Unless this is just like a display, like a chocolate fountain, I guess. Maybe that's all it is. I can hear more music. Okay, and here we go. Waffles. You don't have to go far in Brussels to see the things it is famous for. Australian homemade ice cream. Interesting. And the square is happening. And then there's this Galeries Royal Saint Hubert. Give a little taste of whatever this is, sort of a mall, I guess. as you can see, as for masks, most people aren't wearing them. So it's not like you got to walk down the street in Europe wearing a mask. Again, it will depend on where you are, but seems like things aren't too strict in Belgium. Okay, let's walk back down the other street to the right here, heading in the general direction of my hotel. And I think I'm going to wrap it up here. As you can see, these streets just kind of go in every direction. Walking streets, or in this case, it's kind of mostly walking and then a little lane for cars in the middle. But this is the old town, cobblestone roads, lots of squares, lots of shops, restaurants, street music, a classic European city experience. What is this going on here? Is this chess? I think so. So I don't know what the deal is there, but it looks like that guy is playing multiple games. It's like that's the one guy's deal, and then he plays against multiple people simultaneously, something like that. That sign said free, so I'm not sure what was free, if you just play chess with him for free or if he's betting, you know. If he wins, you pay him. If you win, he pays you, something like that. Not sure. Maybe somebody can explain that one. As for my personal level of chess experience, not much. I've played it at various times. I mean, I had a board when I was a kid and got a little into it, and then have traveled with the chessboard and played a few times here and there, but have basically lost all experience with it and am a crappy chess player at this point. Here we got pastries, cakes. This is a good place to come if you are hungry. Okay, I think this is a good place to end the video. I am very close to my hotel. Actually, that is called Nicholas, but not my hotel. All right, that's it for now. More coming from probably Europe, somewhere. We'll see where.